Good day, ma'am. I'm Police Lieutenant Colonel Rio Suyat, 39 years old. I graduated at PMA or Philippine Military Academy on July 3, 2007 from class of C Nagtala. 14 years in service and become a fingerprint technician for 5 years. And I handled 15 cases. Okay, so let's go. Let's move to our main topic, which is the 16 similarities of fingerprint. In this presentation, we have two fingerprints, which is the plain impression, and the other one is the latent print. Number one is ridge hook. Ridge hook is a fingerprint characteristic that comes out of the side of the ridge and suddenly stop in between ridges. Number two is short ridge. So what is short ridge? Ridges which are significantly shorter than the average ridge length on the fingerprint. Next is number 4, ridge ending. What is ridge ending? Ridge ending, it is defined as the point where the ridge abruptly or where the ridge suddenly stop. Number 5 is ridge dot. So what is ridge dot? Ridge dot is a well-formed ridge that is normally caused by single protuberance. Number 6 is what we call is score. What is score? In short explanation, it is a structure in the print that is the center line or the line in the center of our fingerprint pattern. And number 7 is delta. The, the delta the delta is that point on the ridge at or in front of nearest the center of the divergence of the type lines. As we can see in the presentation, number 7 is the delta. Next is trifurcation, the point at which one of friction ridge divides into 3 friction ridge. Like on bifurcation, point where a friction ridge forks and becomes 2 separate ridges, enclosure or ridge island. Formation where ridge bifurcates and rejoins to be a one in short distance. Last is opposed bifurcation. In opposed bifurcation, two opposing bifurcation at both ends of a ridge. And if you haven't asked, I attend the Automated Fingerprint Identification System or AFIS seminar workshop at the Regional Training Center. So let's move on to the next topic. And the question in here is, in number 1 is, what do you mean by epidermal ridges? Epidermal ridges, it is the another feature of some parts of the papillary layer is the dermal ridges. These ridges cause ridges in overlying epidermis called epidermal ridges. Number 2, are fingerprint made up of ridges? My answer is yes. Fingerprints are made up of friction ridges and furrows, which appear on the pads of fingerprints and thumbs. And another question is, what are furrows? These are the depression or canal between the ridges. Number 4, what is meant by minutiae? Minutiae are major features. Minutiae, these are, okay, sorry. Minutiae. Minutiae are major features of fingerprint. Then number 5, of what value are the minutiae in fingerprint identification? These are these are used to determine the uniqueness of the fingerprint. We're going to number 6. How many layers of skin are there? There are three layers of skin: the epidermis, dermis, and the hypodermis. Question number 7. What is the average thickness of skin on the palmar side of a young hand? The answer is it is thicker average 1 to 4 million, 1 to 4 millimeter than the epidermis, which is about as a thin as piece of paper. Number 8. What is poroscopy? Poroscopy is the study of human pores of sweat gland. Number 9. Is poroscopy a science of identification like fingerprints? Yes. Poroscopy is a method of personal identification in which the characteristics of sweat pores on the friction ridges impression of palmar and plantar surfaces are examined. Question number 10. What is ink impression? Ink impression friction is the recording of friction ridge detail present on the distal joint of the fingers and palms. Next question is, what is latent print? Latent print are made of the sweat, sweat and oil on the skin surface. This type of fingerprints is invisible to naked eyes or our naked eyes. Question number 12. What are fingerprint pattern and pattern area? The fingerprint pattern are the arcs, loops, and whorls. Pattern area is that part of a loop or whorl in which appear the course, deltas, ridges, in which we are concerned in classifying. Number 13. Uh, can palm prints like fingerprints used to establish identity? Yes. Palm prints like fingerprints used to establish identity, generally accepted by the forensic science community as positive identification. Number 14 or question number 14. What is agioscopy? Agioscopy is the study of characteristics of the ridge edge for comparison purposes. Number 15 is, in fingerprint comparison, what is meant by apparent dissimilarity? A difference in the opinion of examiner can be explained. And we're going to question number 16 is there a specific need of points to one must find in order to conclude the positive identification? Generally, criminal courts will accept to 8 to 12 points of similarity. Use this characteristic as points of identification when comparing fingerprint samples. Number 17. What are the basic premises of fingerprint identification? The two underlying premises of fingerprint identification are uniqueness and persistence. And we are going to question number 18. Is fingerprint identification an exact science? If yes, then why would you doubt about its accuracy, or then why would two examiners differ in their opinion? Yes, there's a print found, and if it's matched to a suspect, there is no doubt about its accuracy. The US judicial system also treats fingerprints identification with the same absolute certainty, but there is no scientific basis for the critical assumption about fingerprint identification. Question number 19. Could you determine exactly the age of latent impression? At the present time, there are no standard methodologies to real, reliably determine the age of latent finger marks recovered from crime scenes. Number 20. What is latent print transfer card? Latent transfer card is used for preserving developed lifted latent. And question number 21. How is, la- how is latent print lifting done? This is done by coating fingerprints with powder, lifting them, and then taking them to the forensic lab where they are compared to fingerprints in the database. What is transfer lifting tape? A transfer lifting tape is designed for lifting of fingerprints which are developed with fingerprint powder. What methods are employed in the development of latent prints, and they how did how do they work? A developing a developing latent prints via physical method and chemical method and fuming method. Physical method, and the developing reagent will adhere to or stick to the sweats. Next is chemical method, which is worked through chemical reaction, and fuming method. Fumes of reagent will with with certain components of the sweat. How long will latent print last? There is no scientific way to know how long a latent print will last. We are we are on question number 5, and what is meant by smudge print? Is a smudge print the same as the print of no value? And the answer is smudge print is when printing on paper that is even slightly moist from humidity. Ink can become smudged on the paper. Colors can run together and text or images can be distorted. Number 26. How many points identification are found in normal's normal's roll impression? A normal a normal roll a normal a normal roll print may have 100 plus identification points. 27. What is natural dissimilarity? Natural dissimilarity is the fact of not being the same as somebody or something else. What are the focal points in fingerprints? Or what value are they? Within the pattern areas of within the pattern areas of loops and whorls are enclosed are enclosed you to send are enclosed to you send. Number 28. What are the focal points in fingerprint? Or what are what value are they? Delta and core are the two focal points in fingerprints. Can fingerprint be forged? The answer is no. Fingerprint cannot be forged because various experiments were conducted by the authorities, and although although they could almost make an accurate reproduction, still there is no case on record known or have been written that forgery is fingerprints has been complete success. And we are on question number 30. Uh, can you tell in all instances that a print has been forged? The answer is no. Based from principle of infa- infallibility, fingerprint is absolute and cannot be forged, which mean which means there will be no there will be no chances to check a forged print because it doesn't exist in the first place. Question number 31. It is possible that the prints you found and develop are forged prints. The answer is no. It is not possible. And the answer is no. It is not possible. Just like what I've said, that fingerprints are cannot be forged. Number 32. What is what is ninhydrin, no, nihydrin, and how does it work? It is the most widely used chemical reagent for the detection of latent fingerprint marks on porous surfaces such